Okay, we're live. Let's do a quick audio check as always. Okay, we're live. Let's do a quick audio check as always. Sounds pretty good. Hello and welcome everyone. I am Ducky O'Brien. And we are returning to building our prototype of the item requester. I spent the entire last stream flattening the ground. Will we cover more today? I don't know. We'll see. Find out next time. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Anyways, when we get started, I'm only gonna play for a little bit today. I am gonna go play a little bit of No Man's Sky after this, and then I have a hankering to play some Dota 2 and Overwatch today. But yeah, me and my buddies, we climbed into Plat yesterday for Apex. It's always like that part is easy. Now we're trying to get from Plat 4 to Plat 3, which is going to be a lot more harder. And then slowly work our way up. It's probably going to take at least one season or two to go up a tier in Plat. And our goal is to hit Diamond. But it's taking a long while. The scale curve is weird in that it's very easy to get to Gold 1. And then once you hit Plat 4, it's like you're thrown off a cliff because you're seeing X Diamond players. When you're in Plat 2, you might see like a Pred in your lobby. And yeah, it's very hard to compete and improve because a lot of squads are really good. And they'll just beam you and then you'll die. So it's different. Like in Gold, you can just rush in, be aggro all the time, and you know, you might, if you have a good start, you can just steamroll the entire lobby. But in Plat, it's like everyone plays mid-range, they play safe, they won't engage unless they know they're gonna win. A lot of third partying, so it's a lot harder. But enough of my Apex. I'm in Apex mood. I wanna see how good I can get at the game. But we'll see. We'll see. Alright. So now, let's see. I think I'll design it around central storage first, because that will determine the location of everything else. So let's design a central storage that works. Okay, extra large platform Cs with LRCs is what I'm going for. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of dim. I need some lighting in here. Whatever. Let's make some, you know, platforms. Okay. We should probably check how many resources or canisters we need. For the sake of this build, I'm gonna have 1 LRC per resource. For the main build, I'm going to have 4 LRCs fill up the entire extra large platform C for 1 resource each. That was my goal. So we will... I hate this too. When it's slanted, the platform does not rest perfectly on it. It's a little... It goes into the ground a little bit. Anyways, is it F1 for Astropedia? Yeah. Okay. Nothing uses raw metals. I don't think it... Something is clay? I don't remember. I don't think so. Well, no, wait. Something uses quartz. Yeah. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's wrong. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. On the composites. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. 33. Okay. It's 4 for a platform. I need 9 extra large C platforms. It's 36, right? 9 times, I mean... Yes, 9 times 4 is 36. I can't do math now. Alright. Let's get some packagers out here. We're gonna do the aligning trick. Yeah, I'm not gonna care too much. I was gonna line it with the arrow pointing the same way, but you know what? Screw it. As long as they're in the same direction. You know, does it even matter if they're in the same direction? We should probably figure this out. What's up, Grape? You got your friend to play Eve? How could you do this? How could you do this? You're supposed to fight the Sith, not join him? Why have you done this, Grape? Okay. I really wish there was like a grid alignment. That'd be perfect. Wait, I need space. He's a Fortnite kid, it's alright. Yeah, I guess. Fortnite is worse, you know. How would I design a central storage so I can deposit the materials back in? I guess I should figure that out first. Let's get some LRCs up in here. Up in here, up in here. Okay. Output enabled, yep. Where are you going, my friend? You have to play Fortnite now? Eh. That's good. Less playing Eve. Friends don't let friends do Eve online. You're a terrible friend. How could you do this? Okay. Gonna delete these. By the way, did you see the leaks? There's apparently going to be a hoverboard and possibly an airplane in Astroneer now. It's what good friends do? Nah, hell no. Get out of here. Get out of here. Would you be interested if I made like a 1-minute video highlighting Joe's streams? Because I feel like a lot of people don't watch him. I could just make a recap video and be like, here are the leaks. There's the lakes. Oh, this is gonna be a little bit... Alright, I know how to do this. It's fine. Everything's fine. Do we need organics? I feel like we don't. Need clay. Quartz we do use. Although... Yeah, whatever. We'll keep it. Weird, when you copy it, it doesn't keep the state of the... Sure. I'm gonna fill these now. I need central power too. I gotta design everything now. It's gonna be exciting. Okay. Anyways, how are you enjoying the world of EU Online though? Very strange, I thought you would not enjoy that game. Okay, I'll worry about the alignment of that later. Now let's figure out a system. So we need one side to put resources back in, and then we need the other side to pull resources out. So... I need more space. Unless I leave this blank here. What happens if you do that? Let me turn this off for a second. Does it get sucked back into the cancers? What if I disable output? Does it get sucked in? It does. Okay, something's coming to mind now. I think what I can do is I can have... I can flip the state to enable or disable output. I think 2 silos will be enough of a buffer here. And the loading and unloading can be done from here. I don't need to filter it. Alright. Link for what? If it's EVE Online... like, no thank you. Okay, now how would I... Alright, let me check. Oh, do I even have Discord on right now? I'll check it later. I don't have Discord up on this PC right now. Too lazy to alt tab out. Alright. Oh, the question is though, how do I know? See, here's the problem, okay? The unloading arm may take resources that are supposed to be loaded, so this is why you should play EVE Online in 2021? Never. See, the problem is I need to make sure that the resources that are being loaded get into the canisters, and the ones that are being unloaded get unloaded. But when they're both on the silo, the arm can't tell the difference because there's nothing to track that right now. So I guess I should I don't know how to design this though. I mean, I know how to design it, but I don't want to do it is what I mean, because it's too much space. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have two separate arm thingamabobs. Okay. Oh man, I really don't want to do this, but Mickey Mill, I don't know what that is. Okay, sorry, platform. You go over here. What we need is a storage system in which we can both pull and store resources in without mixing up the two. That is gonna be annoying to design. Okay. It's gonna be pulling. I need logic for this too. I don't think I can. Oh my god. Alright. You know, I thought it was gonna be simple, but designing central storage is gonna be a goddamn pain in the butt. You'll invite everyone to play EVE? That sounds like you're a drug addict now. You're like inviting everyone else to do drugs. That's what it sounds like. Sounds about right. Again. Okay, the pull line is easy. I think. How do I do this in an elegant manner? I don't think it's possible to do it in an elegant manner. This needs to go into the conveyor belt. Yeah, there has to be an easier way. There has to be. There has to be an easier way. But the problem is I need to both load and pull resources at the same time and not mix the two up. And this is the only way I have to separate it out. Or does it matter? Doesn't matter. Let's think about this for a second. Hold up. Doesn't matter. What if I use a system? No. See, I was thinking of a system that would count the number of resources that I need. And then use a delay repeater with the count repeater so that I can get the arm to unload or load a resource the exact number of times. But every time you include specific logic like that, you increase the possibility of failure in your design. So you have to keep it as dumb as possible, like just very simple, so that nothing can fail. Or if it does fail, it's very easy to fix. It's not likely to fail, and if it does fail, that it's very easy to fix the problem manually in your production line. So complex solutions, while it looks elegant, are usually not the way to go. You want to make it as simple as possible. So I think what I can do is this system is okay, but I feel like it's unnecessarily complex. I think the solution that I'm gonna implement, which I really don't want to right now, but I think this is the answer right now. Like, it's just to have one loading and unloading area, and it doesn't matter if the loading resources get taken away by the unloading arms, because in the grand scheme of things, overall you're still gonna get it, the kind of like the flow rates that you want for input and output. There are these vitamin candies, so you crush it, it becomes a powder, and you sell that in the classroom. Why though? Why? Okay, so this is what we'll do. Okay. I have to make sure that... Okay, so what we can do is we can toggle the state of the cans to enable output or disable it. So this is not gonna work either. See, this is the problem. Unless I had more than one canister here of the same resource. Let's try. So this design, how this would work is I would have logic here, and it will toggle the state of the canister. If it enables output, it will come out onto these resource silos, and then the arms can grab it and pull it off. Now if I'm loading it, it'll be put onto here, and then I will disable output and I'll suck the resources back in. Dogs. You wanna do some dogs? So that that's the general idea. I feel like I'm gonna probably implement that, but we'll try making this one first and see how to do it. So we need a loading section and an unloading section. This way you can always have this with the enable the output enabled, because it'll just sit there and it'll grab it off the canister. Only one will come out at a time. So it's less things can go wrong with this design. But then here I'm looking here and I'm like, how do I merge this with the conveyor belt? Especially if it's just a single arm design. I don't like that, and I want multi-arm design, but whatever. We'll see how far we can get with this. Okay. In the conveyor belt. Is there an easier way to do this? How do I... I really don't want to... This is why I don't like the auto arms. I have to angle it now. So I have no choice. I gotta put it into like one tiny area. Okay. Just over here. It's still not big enough to grab everything. Man. Gonna recruit your friend. How could you do that? How could you do... Don't do him dirty like that. Friends don't let friends play EVE Online. Okay, that's touching the platform now. Alright. Okay, there we go. Theoretically, this should work. Oh, I'm stuck here. Alright. Let me do a quick test-a-rooney. Okay. Well, I ain't grabbing it. It's right there. Is this backwards? Oh, it is backwards. Whoops. Whoops. No one saw that. Okay. Okay, it works. Yep, I can grab all the resources. Why do you hate Eve? I don't hate Eve. So, like, I love Eve. I think it's the only MMORPG I can actually play is Eve Online. I tried a lot of them and nothing really grabbed me. But in the end, it's not worth it. Like, I explained this to you already. You need to spend a lot of time in Eve. Like, a lot of time. If you're gonna get good at the game, you have to spend a lot of time. If you really know what you're doing, you can take a lot of shortcuts. But basically they made the game so that you have to play, because that's how they make money. Right. You can use an an alpha account for a long time, but there's a limit to what you can do with alpha accounts. You need to get omega. So there's a lot of ways you can make money, and if you're really good at what you're doing, you can flex your character and play for free, but the amount of time needed to do that is insane, unless you're doing market manipulation, in which you can make massive amounts of money very easily. But it's very hard to do that when there are people who are in control of the market. So it's not something that everyone can do. But yeah, like the sheer amount of time needed to do that is not worth it. The amount of highs in Eve are very low. It's like similar to playing Dota 2. Like the highs are very high, but you don't encounter them very often. Once you do, you get hooked, and then you play again, and you're like, you want that moment again. But you don't get it. And the things that you could have done with that time that you spent on Eve are far more valuable than playing Eve. Whatever it is, like learning an instrument, learning how to sing, you know, these are things I'm interested in, right? I'd rather do that than play Eve Online. I'd rather build a production line in Astroneer than play Eve Online, because this is a useful skill set that you can transfer to real life if you want to. There are actual jobs that use this sort of skill set, or you know, you can do it in another game. It all transfers, but Eve Online, it doesn't transfer to anything. You just wasted your life. So if you can control yourself and you can play it a reasonable amount of hours in the day, then that's no problem. But if you're addicted, then you know, it's an issue. It's no better than doing drugs. It's better in that there's no health repercussions other than you slowly dying and killing yourself because you're not working out, right? But yeah, it's not a healthy way to live life. It's great for them because you're playing their game and eventually you're gonna put money into it. But yeah, like it's not worth it. But I'm telling you right now, take my advice as someone who's poured hundreds of hours into Eve already. Barry has poured more hours into Eve. It's not worth it. It's one of the best MMORPGs out there in my opinion, in terms of, you know, having a player-driven economy and everything else. Almost everything's player-driven. That's unique to see. There's things you're gonna find in Eve that you can't get anywhere else. That said, it's just not worth it. Real life is far more fascinating. If you're gonna spend that much time in Eve, I would rather spend that much time in real life trying to accomplish something. You know, because life is short, and it's a sad thing to see someone wasted on something that's not worth your time. Interesting. This was double stack for some reason. So if I look back, 30 hours? No, I played Eve off of the Steam version, dude. The Steam version is not the best version of Eve Online, but yeah. That's not even my main character. That's the side character that I created. You can look it up. You can look up my Eve profile. It's Ducky O'Brien. That's the new one I made for Wormbro. Archivers. I have so many accounts. Garchivers, Tarchivers, Marchivers, Sarchivers. And basically Archivers with the letter in front of it. Almost the entire alphabet. Not quite. I didn't get that far, but yeah. I have multiple accounts. And that's another thing about EVE Online. If you want to play it to the max, you need at least 3 accounts. You have 30 hours in? Gotcha. I have hundreds of hours in there, but yeah. You need your main account, you need like a scout character, you need like a bubbler, you know, tackler. You know, you can have multiple attack characters. There's a guy, this guy's a legend. Back in Wormbro, his name was Loan. Freaking 30 accounts that he have multi-box. 30. Every time we had a battle, a court battle, he would undock 30 ships. The entire fleet, like 95% of it, was made up of this one guy. Okay, we have the conveyor belt. We can merge it now. It's perfect. So, yeah. It's not worth it, dude. If you're not gonna listen to me, that's fine. But, like, just consider the fact that your life is shorter than you think. And I hope you're spending it on something that's worthwhile instead of being controlled by impulses. Which is honestly no different than doing drugs. It's almost full. Yeah, I don't know why people look down on alcoholics and people who are addicted to drugs and ruin their lives doing so when gaming is very similar in that regard. Like, people don't realize how many hours are sinking in. You know, playing non-stop, ruining their health. You know. Life is short. That's it. That's just the bottom line. Eve is not worth it. Even Barry, who's put in more hours than me, even though I started way before him, back in the college days, says it's not worth it. And he had like 30 accounts as well. He was skill point farming. He would keep his accounts plexed. He played the game on a very high level. He climbed the corp to a very high level as well. His billions and billions of ISK can just play for free for the rest of his life. And this guy says it's not worth it. Alright, I'm waiting for this to fill up. And I'm gonna replace this with the loading conveyor belt setup. I'm telling you to help you, man. Spend your time doing something else. It's good to experience Eve and play it so you know what it's like. And you played one of the most unique. You're not even getting to the parts where Eve is great. You're just playing the alpha account section, just grinding it very slowly. That's not even the fun part. That's like the most boring part of any MMORPG. It's just grinding as a newbie. The fun stuff is when you get to Corpse and you have like a high level pilot and you can engage in battles and you're just in these massive fleet battles and people are losing like thousands of dollars worth of ships. And you're like, wow, this is insane. And then you just see like the impact you're having on the game world because you're leaving your mark on it by being part of a corp and doing some zany things, some crazy things. Like the stories out of Eve are the best part, to be honest, rather than playing the game. Haven't even gotten to the good parts. But yeah, like what you're doing is no different than killing pigs over and over again in World of Warcraft, you know, like that South Park episode. Which is hilarious, but yeah. The number one regret I have in life is I wish I spent my time better. I wish I didn't waste my time. I wish I spent it better and learn skill sets that would be valuable and try to work towards goals that were gonna take a lot of time to accomplish. You know, like if for creating content, I wish I started earlier because it's so hard. It was easier back in the day. You made more money, it was easier to grow. I wish I started that way earlier. And I wish I learned about editing videos way earlier. I wish I did all this stuff way earlier. I wish I spent more time learning how to play instruments and learning how to sing. I love music, you know, I have a great appreciation for it now. I wish I did all of this earlier. What's up, Argus? How you doing? So you can joke about it, Grape, and make memes about it and be like, nah, it's worth it, blah blah blah. But the reality is, it's not, and you are gonna regret it when you get older. I guess you're gonna be saying the same thing. I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time to do the things that mattered. Because once you realize how difficult it is to do anything, you're like, oh god, this seems impossible. Great, now is not the time to be joking, I'm being serious here. Life is short, man. It's so short. If I could impart one valuable tip to people, is that life is short. What's up, Astro Time? How are you doing? Life is very short. It passes in the blink of an eye. You don't even realize it. You're like, where did all this time go? You wonder. Okay, now we have our mergers built in to our lineup. Guys, this is gonna take a lot of space. You're fine, that's good to hear, Astro. I'm building central storage right now, and this is actually a hard design problem. I have two methods right now, and I'm leaning towards this method, but I don't like it. A lot of problems, but right now I think I'm gonna stick with this one for the build. Basically this is central storage. What deadly machine are you making today? You mad ducky doctor. I'm figuring out how to store resources in one area and then pull and load resources into it at the same time. No, I'm telling you to spend your time more wisely, Grape. Find something that you're really passionate about and not addicted to. You might as well spend your time doing drugs. What difference is it gonna make? Like, anyways. So here we have the loading section. So we're gonna have a conveyor belt going across this here this way. And it's gonna pull in resources. I'm gonna have to filter it now that I think about it. Oh my god, I have to build a filter system, so I only get certain resources going here. I'm gonna have to have a sub-conveyor. Okay, anyways. I'm gonna have a sub-conveyor belt line here. This is not main, I take it back. It's gonna be filtered. So, graphite, quartz, resin, and compound. It's gonna be coming in this way. It's gonna be put onto here. Sorry, it's gonna be put onto here, and then these arms will load it into the respective canisters. So if I create those resources or I have extra, it's going to be coming down here and it's going to be loaded. Now if I need those resources, these arms will pull it out of the canisters which have output enabled, and I'm going to drop it off into here, this buffer, and then these arms will bring it down into the main conveyor belt. So this one can go into the conveyor belt directly. This one I need filters for it, so I have the right resources. Sucking all the souls in life from a single world? Yes, exactly. Exactly. We're gonna harvest all the resources. We're gonna leave nothing but a devoid husk. Devoid of any life. Just a husk of a planet. A mere shell of its former self. So that's the first design. There are some issues with this, but let me just do this real quick. Alright. Okay, so I disabled output, and the second way, this is more elegant, but it does pose more problems as well. I'm gonna have logic to toggle the state of the large resource canisters, and if you enable output, it will deposit it onto these silos. So when I want to load resources away into the conveyor belt, I can do this. I can pull it from here. I'll have two arms, one loading arm, one unloading arm. And then when I want to store resources, it'll dump it onto these silos, and then I'll toggle the state of this so they could suck the resources in. Now, the problem, this is the major problem I have with canisters, is that it can only ever be in one state. You can't store and pull resources at the same time from another storage unit. You can do it directly to the canister, because you can just have output enabled and there's nowhere to go. It'll always have one out resource dangling, and you can always shove more in if there's space. Okay, so that's more elegant though, because I have a way simpler belt system. But the problem is, again, I can't really load and store resources into the canisters at the same time, so I run into issues like, what if I need to load and pull at the same time? What do? I have to wait. I can only do one at a time. And then what happens to my storage buffer that I had right here? I might have a lot of resources there that I need to load, but it's gonna get pulled into the conveyor belt. And even if I have logic for that, there are cases in which I need to do both. I need to load it and pull. So, you know, overall though, in the grand scheme of things, if you have an overflow buffer or redirect it back into main storage, it's not going to be a problem, but it does take longer. So we can figure that out later. This one is more straightforward in that all the resources that are supposed to be loaded will be loaded. And all the resources that are supposed to be pulled will be pulled, depending on how accurate your logic is for the production line. But yeah. So we'll see. I'll try both out and then settle on a design. I'm leaning towards this one because it's just simple. Basically, the less moving parts and less logic to your production line, the better, because you have less points of failure. And also, the less amount of transactions you're making, the easier it is to operate. It'll be just simpler. It'll take less time. There's nothing wasting your time at that point. But yeah, this is me designing on my own. I'm not looking at anyone else's designs. So, you know, if someone else made a really good design already, then, you know, they already fixed the problem. I'm sure someone did already. Someone has to have done this already, you know. Someone out there. I saw, oh, by the way, let me give a quick shout out to a YouTube channel that I found. This guy has some really elegant solutions. I was very impressed. It takes a lot to impress me, but yeah, this guy, let me just link his channel real quick. Jonathan's Info Dump. I think this guy needs more subscribers. I'm gonna check him out. The video that really impressed me was... where was it? It was his trade platform video. It was one of the most elegant builds I've seen, solving the problems that I had in a way that was it was beautiful, I thought. Yeah, this one. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me bring this up here. Okay, so this guy, freaking brilliant, dude. Just go. So he did the count method, which I'm like, whatever. Anyone can do that. It's built in. But here's the thing that really impressed me. He used gas canisters here. So what he did was, you know, for materials where you need like 6 scrap, and it's really hard to trigger logic off of that because you're operating on full or not full, right? So you can't use filler materials. You can, but you have to use a clock then, and separate from that. But this guy freaking has a gas canister here, and it poops out like the exact amount of gas to fill in the platform, and then when it's done, it sucks it back in. And I was like, wow, that is a really intelligent solution that I never would have come up by myself. That's why I love the Astroneer community. These people playing the game, when you combine them together and we're working together, they come up with some incredible stuff. So like Chronic Zombies conveyor belt build, I never would have come up with that. I feel like people don't understand how convenient and genius that design is, right? It's something so simple, but to come up with that idea would have been impossible. You kind of had to stumble upon it yourself by mistake, you know? So that might never happen. Same thing with this. Such a elegant design, such an elegant solution to a problem, you know, that I didn't have the flexibility of mind to really think about. And this always impresses me. I was super impressed when I saw this build. That's Jonathan's Info Dump. Yeah, people don't appreciate the right things for the game. Like, Let's Game It Out made a video with Dynamite, and I'm like, I did that, but I didn't. I farmed it myself for months, right? No one cared. The video was more entertaining. He made an entertaining video, but like what he did wasn't difficult. And if you watch him, he doesn't know how to play the game, because he's just making that one video. But this guy, this is a simple video, but it's such an elegant solution if you had the same problem. You know, like a solution someone gave me in my comments was use the tall storage because it has exactly 6 slots, and that worked. But it's not elegant. This is, wow, you know, mind blowing. I like the tall storage solution though. I'm gonna stick to that because the simpler it is, the better. If anything goes wrong here, like the wiring breaks or anything, you know, you're gonna have issues. But yeah, Jonathan's Info Dump, check him out. There's so many. I didn't even know this guy existed. I stumbled upon his channel because I saw his video in my recommendeds because I was checking my own videos, like the analytics. I go over it, I see if there are any new comments. And I saw that video. I'm like, oh, let's see how other people do it. And then I was like, wow, wow, this is incredible. I don't know. It's so weird that, perceived value is like the biggest thing for YouTube. It's not like the actual quality of the content or the idea. It's more like how many views does it have. So I've seen like channels where like they do play the game a lot and they have a basic grasp of it, but like that's it. And they have like millions of views and it's like stuff that's common knowledge. But then you see like this channel that's unknown and it's like creating something genius and people don't even know. They see it but they don't know what they're looking at, so they ignore it even though it's like game breaking. That frustrates me a little bit. Like T Hill, his logic design, amazing. all these amazing things, and people are just pass by and don't even realize that it's something very difficult to do, something very time consuming. Like Mr. Bullet Buddy, his builds are absolutely amazing. But what gets millions of views? A video of some dude blowing up the planet with dynamite. And I'm just like, oh man. Oh man. Just didn't think there's like no incentive to do creative things, There's no reward for it. So sad. You just have to follow trends and do the memeiest thing you possibly can. Like that's so dumb. Why can't I click on this? Alright. Alright, let's delete this real quick. Oh my god, that's not what I meant to delete. Okay. Now let's work on the filter part for our loading part. Ah man, no, freaking stop. Stop it. Where did you even get the graphite? Where did the graphite come from? Doesn't make sense. Do you have more? No, okay. Alright, so we have the loading part here. We need to filter it in before we let's simulate the main conveyor belt line then. This is a goddamn pain. How am I even supposed to build this? Jeez. Okay. But yeah, there are a lot of smaller content creators out there doing some amazing stuff. Hope y'all check them out. One thing I learned was after watching this, after seeing the designs Chronic Zombie came up with, Jonathan's info dump, I realized that I'm not very good at designing things. Like, I love it, but if I'm coming up with a design from scratch, I've had very few designs where I'm looking at it, I'm like, yes, this is outstanding. It's more like I'm very good at making simple and accessible designs so that when people look at it, they can copy it easily. I think that's my skill set. And taking someone else's design and improving upon it. But like the hard work of coming up with the original design itself, I'm not intelligent enough to do that. I think that's something I discovered while looking at all these different content creators. I'm below average, and it's something that I have to accept. I would like to think that I'm smart or something, but the truth is, the reality is, and this is true for most people, because if you look at like the skill curve, like in Apex, I made it to plat, and plat is in the top 20% of the player base. I'm at the very bottom of that. But the skill gap between plat and diamond is insane. and the diamond's like the what, top 5% or something like that. So in terms of like comparing myself to other designers, I'm below average. I'm like in bronze, dude. I'm in bronze, so I gotta get better. But it's something I enjoy doing, and I'm okay at tweaking our existing designs to make them better in terms of efficiency or user experience. But yeah, that's my skill set. I found out was like in making sure that I can make design simple enough that it's still functional, semi-efficient, and people can just build it easily. It's not gonna be anything game-breaking or genius, and it's, you know. Oh wow. Yeah, for every game I play, you know, it's like it's just too many smart people out there. I'm always impressed when I see it, and I hope people recognize that, you know. It's something it's amazing talent right there. Like that mind for design is something that you can't really learn sometimes. It's a skill set that is built off of creativity and imagination, and like the ability to create something from nothing, like a solution to a problem. That is something very difficult to do once you try it out for yourself. Once you see the solution, you're like, oh, that's easy, anyone can do that. Like, try it then, you know? It's very hard. It's so easy to take someone else's design and make it better too, but coming up with a design when you have nothing is so hard. I don't know how to do this. Maybe? If I could have a resource canister with one resource guaranteed to be stuck in there forever, I could create a pretty good filter. But I don't want to filter off of the main conveyor belt again, because I'm filtering it twice, so this is really dumb. It's redundant. I'm leaning towards the double silo build, which is way more simpler, but more prone to errors. Whatever. Okay. Oh, why is there no compound there? Where did you go, buddy? Just joined the corp. Oh my goodness. Alright. No, not the arm. Where is the graphite? There you go. Okay. Creating the filter now. So it takes a lot of time for me to come up with a design. Like, people, when they show me their builds, you know, it's their first attempt, and they're like, I don't like it. Well, I'm like, duh, it takes at least 3 revisions before you get to a usable design sometimes. Sometimes it takes more. I'm talking about 3 major revisions, 3 different versions that you create. Unless you're blessed with insanely high IQ and a talent, a knack for building things, us normal folk have to do it over and over and over and over again until we come up with something that we can actually use. Okay. So this can be the filter. That means we need filtering stations. Yeah. Oh, how does this work? I think it's time to call it quits. I want to keep playing, but you know what? I think I have to go back to my 9-hour streams of Astroneer every day, all day, for me to finish this. It's just too time consuming, and I need more time. I don't have time for this. And 1 hour is not enough time, I mean. Like, it's Okay, I don't want to go back to that though. It was a nightmare. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but like when you're playing one game for months and you're playing it for 9 hours a day, and it's the only thing you're doing, it does get stale like really fast, and you don't want to play the game ever again. You want to take a break from it. Man, I don't know how I did it, but yeah, I played Astroneer for 9 hours a day, every day for months at a time. That's how I built my base. That's how I put all the hydrogen into the moon. My goodness. Okay. Let's call it here. I'm gonna have to figure out central storage first, I guess. I thought it would be easier, but it's not. I'll have to create different versions of central storage and then tinker around and see which one's the best. Okay. Let me call it quits there. I'll say my things and get it out of here. Alright, we got Zago Jovanovic, also known as Grave315 Hungry on Twitch. Thanks for dropping by, dude. Also, think about what I'm saying. Give it some thought. EVE Online is not worth your time. I know you think you have time because you're still young, but life flashes by in the blink of an eye. In one blink, your life is over. So think about what you want to do and who you want to be very, very carefully. Because you want to get that down as fast as possible so you can work on whatever you think is important. A lot of people just drift by in life, and then when they're an adult, they're like, oh no. It's like, who am I as a person? And then they kind of go on that quest of self-discovery when they're in their 20s, which is okay too. And then like, it took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do, what kind of person I wanted to be. And I wish I did that earlier. But yeah, sometimes you can't help but take time doing that. That's fine too. But yeah, when you're playing EVE Online though, you're not doing that. So think about it. Stop making jokes, man. Just think about what I'm telling you. Just think about it. Use your brain. Alright, we got Argus X77. Thank you for dropping by. Hope everything's going well, my dude. I don't know why you keep dropping by every time I stream, but I appreciate that. So thank you for giving me your time. That requires a lot of effort too. But yeah, I think you drop by every single time I stream Argus. I don't think you've ever missed one. Alright, we got Astro Time. Thanks for dropping by as well. Hope you're doing fine. You say you're doing fine, but I hope you really mean it. I noticed this too, because it's kind of like social etiquette to ask people how they're doing, right? Even though, you know, if someone says they're doing crappy, you don't want to really help them, right? Because it's bothersome to you as a person, because it requires effort. So I don't know why we do this, but like, I think it's important, you know. And if you're, because I used to work with a lot of teens, and I know for them life is not fine. You know, there's a lot of difficulties they're going with. So I'm like, it's okay to admit that life is not okay sometimes. And I told them that life is usually a mix of both. You know, it's like a mix of good things and bad things. No matter how dark your situation may seem, there's always some good in your life, you know. So it's a balance of both. So recognizing that both exist and being okay with both is a part of, I think, getting some sort of balance in life. But yeah, I always say, hey, if you're not doing okay, it's okay to say that I'm doing good and bad, you know? You don't always have to say I'm doing good. But then, you know, as a person, you don't want to be bothered and explain your situation if you're going through difficulties, right? Either. So on both sides, it's like this fake conversation that I really hate. How are you doing? I'm doing well. And then that's it, you know? Anyways, I think it's dumb. I think, you know, I should have a real conversation with someone else, not something that's so fake and surface level. It's meaningless. Anyways, Grape, you gotta stop joking and think about it, man. I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to teach you from my own mistakes. And the number one regret I have is wasting time. I wish I didn't waste time. Oh man. Yeah, that's the only thing. I wish I didn't waste time. I'm in my mid-30s now, and I'm like, oh no, I'm getting close. I'm already past my prime. Oh no. The things that I want to do are going to take so much time and effort. I wish I, like I need a decade to start. I need a decade to get to the starting point. And I'm like, oh no, I'm going to be in my 40s? I'm going to be in my mid 40s? Oh, I'm going to be too old by then to keep working. It's going to be too hard on me mentally and physically to do what I wanted, the stuff that I want to do. And I'm like, I wish I started in my 20s. It would be ideal if I started in my teens, but I was not mature as a teen. In fact, I was not mature as an adult. But if I worked hard, if I had a better work ethic, I think I would have matured quicker. Yeah. You need struggle in your life to get stronger. If your life is easy, you're not gonna develop strength to overcome hardships. If your life is, you need some sort of difficulty that you need to overcome. It's something I realized because I saw these videos about like the Hadza people on my recommended, so I was watching it, and like everyone who visits them keeps saying the same thing. They're like so buff. Every day they hunt for food. If they don't get it, it's very hard to survive then, because they need to hunt food to eat. And you look at these guys and they're all buff, like no ounce of fat. And it's not just a lack of fat, they're built like supermodels and weightlifters. They're like muscular everywhere. Every part of their body has muscle on it, and they're incredibly strong. So like it's because of that struggle, and something that we kind of don't have in modern society for a lot of people, and we've become very weak both mentally and physically and emotionally as well. Like if you look at those people, they're very happy. They don't have a lot of problems that modern society does. So that's something I realized. It's like we need that struggle back. We need that. We're missing that. Stupid cell phones, stupid social media. Get rid of that garbage. Go out into the wilderness and just live off the land. I know I don't mean that, but I think there's a balance we can achieve here. Modern life is so weird if you think about modern society. Even our teeth are affected by it. If you watch I watched another video where basically because all our food is so soft, our teeth are crooked, because when you have tough food to chew, it strengthens your jaw and like it opens up the roof of your mouth, and it automatically gives space for your teeth to align. And so they did a study of people living naturally in the wilderness, versus like people who adapted to more of a modern lifestyle, and they noticed that their teeth, the people living the modern lifestyle, needed braces because there's no space. It's very interesting. They also put like, I don't think this was ethical, but a bunch of researchers, they were studying monkeys, and what they did was they plugged their nostrils with silicone. And what happened was, they breathe through their mouth then. They're forcing them to breathe through the mouth. What happened was the same problems. Basically, the tongue goes to a lower position instead of on the roof of the mouth. And their teeth become crooked. Their skulls are shaped differently too. It's more narrower. And I was like, this is very interesting stuff. It's very interesting. But anyways, I'm going to call it quits there. Yeah, yeah, if I can leave one thing with you guys, time is incredibly precious and it's the number one resource in your life that you can't get back, no matter how hard you try. So treat it valuably, treat it like it's precious, because you don't have a lot of time to begin with. It's important to enjoy your time, but there's a difference between something controlling you and you controlling it. So if you're addicted to something, then you're not in control anymore, and your time is gonna go out the window, and you can't get it back. So before that happens, I hope people look at it and be like, this is something that I don't have a lot of. It's something important. You can do a lot of good with it, or bad, whatever it is you want to do. But yeah, I'm gonna end here. I'm gonna take a short break and I'll come back with a little bit of No Man's Sky and 07 out. Catch you guys next time.